Hey everybody, I just wanted to kind of wrap up this week. It's Friday, July the 24th at 11:33 this morning, Central Daylight Time. If you had been, say, in a coma for the past 10 years and you woke up Monday morning and you followed the markets for the past several days, you'd think, wow, man, the green shoots are here. President Obama was correct. And of course, who's President Obama, right? Now you'd say to yourself, wow, the markets are gone up. The Dow finally reached a little over 9,000 yesterday. It's still hanging around the 9,000 mark today. And man, happy days are here again, and green shoots are sprouting flowers, and everything's just wonderful. But guys, all we got today was a shot of morphine. Actually, last week. The patient is still very sick. The underlying conditions are still there. I'm not exactly a permabear, but I'm just a realist. I know that yesterday the housing market results were up for resales. They're up 3.6% for the month of June, which I'm glad to hear, of course. But the thing is, the sales, if you dig down deeper, the sales are lower end type homes, homes around $150,000 or perhaps less. And of course, the foreclosures have been rising too, just because you have bargain hunters out there. Again, you got the government interfering in the housing markets. The fact that the housing markets, the prices have fallen, and the fact that there has not been demand, when you subtract out the fact that people are losing their jobs and are a little bit scared, of course, is basically the markets are saying, hey, the prices are too high. We've got to wait for the prices to come down before buying is going to pick up. There's just way too much supply and not enough demand. It's just like a stock price. If you have a stock price at $50 and no one's going to buy it, well, what happens to the price of stock? It's going to go down, of course, right? And it's going to continue to go down until people start to feel comfortable with buying it and feel like that there's actually value there. A house for $500,000 that, it's a 3-bedroom home for 2,000 square feet in Southern California, even today, is way beyond the affordability of many people. Most people can't afford a $500,000 house, especially for such a small, pretty average house, I would say, in Southern California. Most people just couldn't afford it. So basically, we have the government interfering again. You're starting to see that coming out again with the FHA loans. The 0 to 3% down. They're trying so hard to keep the prices inflated, and that's not going to help any of us. We need to have, like I said in my $24 trillion video, we need to have a correction. There has to be a correction to where affordability is going to be there. Prices have come down, and people can finally afford. To put down to 10%, which is what's needed. Having a 0% loan is crazy. And then especially FHA, for the most part, they don't even look at your credit score. I mean, if you're above, I think, a 520, your FICO score, they'll pretty much accept you as long as you can show the income, you got the 3% down, and no foreclosures in the past year. Hey, they'll sign you up for a house today. And of course, all that's going to do is keep the prices inflated. We have got to have a severe correction in the housing market, as painful as that is. And then it'll be short term, though. The way we're doing this now, I could see easily a decade of this stuff going on. Jobs reports are still bad, and we're still losing 500,000-600,000 jobs every single month. That's only going to add to the unemployment. You've got U6 figures are increasing, which is people who have dropped off the payrolls, or have dropped off the unemployment rolls. That's going to be increasing. So our total unemployment is still increasing, guys. A patient got a little bit of morphine this week. That's about it, unfortunately. And also, this is another thing you guys don't really hear about in the news and mainstream media. How about those credit default and collateralized debt obligations are still out there, guys. It's not going to go away. You've got J.P. Morgan Chase, Bank of America, pretty much all of Wall Street have gambled in it. They're completely engrossed in it, and they're expecting you and I to pick up the tab to bail them out. Meanwhile, you got mainstream America, losing their homes, losing their jobs. It's crazy. to sit there and ask us taxpayers to come up with the bill to bail them out when they're the ones who are needlessly going to the Wall Street casino and gambling with our money. Guys, I implore you, you've got to wake up, America. The banks are in control. It may sound conspiratorial and crazy, but you have to look at what's happening. Who's getting bailed out? Who was the first to get bailed out? And look at the large sums of cash that are used. Anyway, I know I went on a little rant about that, but look, the markets, I think, are going to be a little flat here. I may hang around the 9,000 mark, but I think in the next couple of weeks we're going to have other reports coming out. Today, Microsoft and Amazon kind of missed some marks, so it's kind of put a damper on the markets as a whole. The U.S. DX, or U.S. dollar index, is still below 80. 80, I think, is kind of a psychological number, but it's been holding around 78 to 79, which is good. But I think the overall feeling, our international investors who actually hold our currency, they're going to start dumping the dollar pretty soon, especially when they realize that our tax revenues are dropping, and at some point in the future, and probably in a fairly near future, the U.S. government's not going to be able to even just keep up with the interest on the debt. It's just not going to happen. So look for your purchasing power to decrease dramatically. Look for hyperinflation. You're going to have the Federal Reserve monetizing lots of debt just to keep the government functioning. I don't see the green shoots that our Mr. Obama, our president, is talking about. So anyway, I think my guess here for the next couple of weeks, and this is just a guess, I think we'll kind of trade sideways, perhaps a little bit lower. I think we'll kind of hang around the 8,500 to 9,000 range on the Dow until the bad reports start to come out. I don't see anything else happening. I know the home builders got a little bit of a jolt too, which is kind of interesting. I think people are saying, well, I guess resales are increasing. Perhaps that would put a little shot in the arm for the home builders. But I don't know in what part of countries you might live in, but especially those in the West and the South and the Southwest, where they have entire mega developments of housing just sitting there empty with spec homes all over the place. How on earth, why would a builder build any more homes when you have all those specs sitting there? Plus, you remember, those home builders have to pay their mortgage on those too. Most home builders take out a mortgage to build the house, and especially if it's a spec, it's sitting there. Maybe it's an interest-only loan for the first 6 months to a year, but after that, they are required to pay principal as well. And so, of course, the builder at some point is going to want to decrease the price of the house to make sure that they sell it to get off their books. Of course, that just starts the vicious circle downward. Prices start to go down again. Look, the government needs to, stay out of the housing market. They've got to stay out of that, to keep their hands off, because all it's going to do is continue this painful trek of just a slow decline. We need to have just a quick decline. If there are any foreclosures or bankruptcies that do need to occur, and I hate to see anyone lose their homes, that's horrible. But those people who do foreclose, get foreclosed upon, in a couple of years, if they can rent for a while, hang low, the housing prices will bottom out, and then we could begin our little climb back if that's what the free market would allow. And those people would be in a better shape too financially. They'll actually have a house that's hopefully appreciating at that point, rather than going through this decades long of slow decline, and then nothing's going to get done. We'll just get stuck in this stagflation. Anyway. Thanks, guys. I'll have some more next week. More videos coming out, and I'll try to be a little more timely, too, about my market reports. So, thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you have a moment, okay? Thanks. Have a great weekend.